I came into the whole Sick Alps concept with the idea of I'm going to go drive the Austrian Alps one time, get it out of my system, and it was way more than that.
Once it gets in your veins, it pushes you to the next level for sure.
What did you think of, like, what was your anticipation going into this? Did you really know what to expect based on things that you've seen in the past, or was this like completely just not expected?
So the first thing is in my mind, I've been over passes, but I've always been on the way to somewhere else. And so I experience it and then I move on and you're like on to the next thing.
Right.
And the way that the routes were developed in comparison this time is that all the nooks and crannies of the villages and the other roads other than the big major get there roads were kind of my favorite part. It was the exploring, maybe the parts that most people don't get to see.
Yeah.
And then that leading us to the lunch spots that were, again, typically I would have driven by and I wouldn't have had any idea that they had such a magical internal vibe. And that all like sealed it all together for me.
I think for me, speaking of lunch spots, Karlbad, which was that, little
farm,
basically farm that was kind of right next to a creek that had been built hundreds of years ago, specifically for a stop to where the king could bathe.
Take a little
bath. And the fact that we were able to go to that spot and have a meal, and they don't have running water, they don't have electricity, and they still do things with the same family for over the few hundred years.
That was really special.
That was the highlight for me on Sick Alps 1, my first round as well.
Yeah.
So we also dipped into Italy a little bit,
which I didn't expect. Yeah. So we're so busy, and putting this whole thing together came together at the last minute, and it was Austria 1, and I didn't expect that on day 2 of Austria 1 we were going into the South Tyrol, and that couldn't have been more different than the Austrian mountains. It's like you're in another land, even though it's only maybe 100 kilometers away.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
This is something, we talk about the Alps, and I think everybody has this mental image of like the Swiss Alps. When I think Alps, that's what I think of. And what I've discovered is the Austrian Alps, the Swiss Alps, the French Alps, the Italian Alps, they're all a little bit different. They're all still in that same mountain range. So what did you see versus, say, like our early bird rise and shine in Austria versus our time in Italy?
So the early bird section we just got up really early. This is the first time we've been on the road as a newbie, and it's dark. You're meeting these people they're all from all over Europe, and I don't know how they drive or what their etiquette is, and so you're feeling each other out as you're, these dark, wet, windy road coming up a mountain. And as we were going up, the light started to peek out through the clouds, and it was the most dramatic, it was as dramatic as it could be from a lighting perspective, with glaciers and rocks and lichen and moss, and so you got these greens and whites and blacks and the light coming through the clouds. So it was just super dramatic, and all these people came together. By the time we got to the mountain, it was like we went from a bunch of strangers to a bunch of smiling people that had this immediate connection. And that is what this was all about for me, is that relationship of people having seeing the same things, and experiencing the same things, and the same G-forces, and learning things, and even that first morning at the top of the mountain, it was clear that that's what that was all about.
Yeah, it's this unique experience that happens, I think, in car communities, but especially Sick Alps, in the respect that when you drive up to the entrance to the Grossglockner, you're all waiting right there for them to open the gates and unlock everything for us, and then all of a sudden it's like all out.
Game on.
It's game on. You get to experience all of these really for the first time for most people, and it is spectacular.
It's spectacular.
It is awesome. Yeah, so I think that kind of wraps up my personal experience with Sick Alps this round. And doing it in a 3-liter Carrera was quite the experience, and doing it in seats that I was already familiar with and I'd fallen in love with was kind of like the cherry on top. So thank you for making that happen.
Yeah, thank Tom for making that happen.
Big thank you to Tom
Yeah.
for making all of this happen, because we would not have had the fun that we had without Tom's support.
No, it was really special. That car was special.
For sure. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.